And living the dream out here, Chris. Living the dream. Just ready for some college football, as they say, right?
Oh, man, we got like a couple regular season weeks left here, dude. It's almost coming to an end, man. The regular season goes by quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, pretty much, what is it, like really a month almost?
Yeah.
Like month and a half, and the season will be over.
Yeah, dude. That's scary, man. Like we waited all off season for the season to start, or I should say, preseason, and then Jesus goes by quickly. Two regular seasons regular season weeks left, and it's conference title games, then it's on to bowl games, man.
So, well, I'm excited about it. Speaking of going bowling, how's the Huskers men's team doing?
Thought about that all night, didn't you? You went to bed last night thinking this morning I'm going to say something like that, say some shit like that. I just need to win the day, man, against Wisconsin, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. I know you guys are going for your third national title in a row. Cut me some slack. I need to go to a bowl game, bro. Come on.
Oh, man. Would you be disappointed if you went to a bowling game?
Yes, I would be.
I don't even think they call it.
I couldn't even watch bowling, bro. Could you?
I can barely play it, let alone, like you said, try to watch it on the television. You know what I mean? Or watch it in person. Like I'm not one of those guys. Like, I don't get it. Like, people are like, oh my God, a hush falls over the crowd.
Yeah.
Steve has just hit his 5th strike in a row. And you're like, wow, who the fuck is Steve?
You ever see those guys, like how fired up they get too? Like they walk around all arrogant while they're bowling. Like, it's like, bro, that ain't even a sport in my book, man. You're throwing a ball at some pins. Like, I'm not saying those guys aren't good, but still.
It's like showing up to the family cookout and your uncle, is like fucking peacocking his chest out because he drives a fucking 79 Mustang. You know what I mean? It's right. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. No, man, that's crazy. No, but
it's probably
yeah.
Go
speaking
ahead.
Of which, no, I do hope we get a W. Not that type of bowling, actual college football bowl game. That would be amazing. So.
Well, getting on to it a little bit here, Chris. We'll start with last night. Some shockers here. UTSA beat the brakes off of South Florida. That, of course, isn't the shocking part of that. You've got Colorado and Washington State that played last night, and it wasn't particularly close. Coming into this one, Chris, Washington State had kind of been very up and down. I mean, it's been a tale of 2 seasons for them. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, what's your thoughts with it, Chris?
Disappointed. Not that I'm a Colorado fan at all. I did bet Colorado money line last night. They were 4-point dogs. Both Washington State had lost 6 games in a row after winning their first 4. Colorado basically the same thing, right? So these 2 teams, I thought, man, this should be a close game. It wasn't. Colorado is one of the worst Power 5 schools. Probably the worst team in the Pac-12, Christian. I really don't care if I piss off the Colorado fans. I don't care. They're not a very good football team. This team has lost all its steam, all its momentum. You can have all those nice athletes on the edge and stuff, Christian, but Shedeur Sanders was sacked literally like 5 times in the first quarter of this game against the Washington State defense that is not very good. It's just ugly. Deion Sanders, I refuse to call him a head coach. Like I was telling you earlier, looks deflated over there on the sideline, just staring into the abyss. What is the Colorado Buffalo program right now? You said something very important this year. It's a good thing that they're going to the Big 12 next year. I know the Pac-12, there's nobody really left, but it's just crazy this year, Christian. I mean, for a team that you couldn't turn on ESPN for 5 seconds a month and a half ago without hearing about Colorado on every major news network, podcast, anything, right? I mean, we thought they were the second coming of Jesus Christ. This team sucks. It's just disappointing, like how bad they actually are right now. I'll let you give your thoughts.
Well, Chris, we talk about Colorado. They're going, and you said it exactly right. I mean, they're going over to the Big 12. Next year. Here's what I'm going to say about Colorado. This shocks to anybody that knows anything. Absolutely no one.
Yeah. That
this is happening. That they're struggling to get to 5-6 wins. Right. This doesn't really shock anybody. A lot of the Deion Dick Riders, as we like to call them, they've been out for a while. You know what I mean?
Can't find a single one on the internet.
Absolutely. Something shocking about this whole thing, because they're going over to the Big 12 with Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw something yesterday, and I wanted to touch base about this for a second here. there's Arizona fans, and they're actually freaking cocky, Chris. you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Are you talking about one of the videos we put up and a couple people dropping some comments in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty bold, man. I was reading that too. I'm glad that you brought that up. And we'll talk about Arizona here in a minute, but they play a big one today against Utah. But yeah, I'm with you. Arizona, one of the more surprised teams, I would say, this year, right? I mean, they're up there probably with Missouri, Louisville, probably in that tier.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. You know, the thing, I guess the weird part of it to me is like their coach, was it Jedd Fisch?
Yes.
Yeah, Jedd Fisch. He, for the most part, everyone's saying, oh, he's not going anywhere. He has a job. Well, motherfucker, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, look, it takes two to dance. And I'm just saying, it would be crazy for him not to consider other options, right? Because, you know, Arizona as a school is like a stepping stone for a lot of programs. You look at guys like Gronk, Scooby Wright, it probably stops there. And Scooby Wright didn't really have that great of an NFL career, but he was a hell of a linebacker for the Wildcats. But still, and I'm probably butchering it, missing a whole bunch of other people that I haven't thought about yet. But my main point with the whole Arizona Wildcat take is, yeah, I think it's insane to sit here and say he's going to come back next year.
Yeah, I agree with you, honestly. I mean, Arizona has predominantly always been a basketball school, and I don't want to piss anybody off from Arizona, but it's amazing what he's done there. I believe I touched on Wednesday, right? 2 years ago, they were 1-11. They went 5-7 last year under him, and now they're, I think they're 7-3. A big game against Utah today, though. That's a huge one for them. They get that one because Utah, we talk about them a lot. We both like Utah. And Kyle Whittingham, but in the program that he's got going on over there. But this is a big one today for Arizona. They win this one, they're going to find themselves at a pretty good bowl game. Not just any bowl game, Christian, a pretty damn good one.
A pretty damn good one. So we're talking what, Cheez-It Bowl?
I don't even know what I'm terrible when it comes to the bowl names of which like 7 or 8. I don't even know which ones they are anymore, bro.
I think the worst thing they did was they started combining them. You know, so you got like a 14 paragraph long bowl name out there, the Duke Cheez-It Bowl for the Blind or whatever, and you're like, can we stop?
No, I'm with you. I know some people are really good at that. Well, if you got 8 wins, they're going to the Holiday or whatever bowl. It's like I don't know. I don't even know. I know the major ones, and that's it.
The Holiday. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. I lost it. Speaking of losses, Georgia plays Tennessee today, Chris, on the road in Knoxville.
Let's go.
What do you think about this, man?
I think I might be the only person on the planet. You know, I bet quite a few games on Saturday, college football games, and during the week. And this spread, I think, is down to -9 on Georgia. There's a lot of people taking Tennessee thinking they're going to keep this one close. And I know everybody keeps telling me Tennessee is a different team at home than they are on the road. And I agree with that. You can look at the stats. I think you would agree, Christian, Tennessee's a much better team at home this year. But Georgia's playing the best football of anybody currently right now. And what they did to Ole Miss last week, I know that was Ole Miss, but they were a top 10 team. I mean, that game wasn't even close after the first quarter. Georgia rolls today, man, in my opinion. I want to hear your thoughts. I know you're the resident Bulldog fan here, but, man, I took Georgia. I actually got it at 10 earlier in the week. But give me Georgia all day here, man. Nothing
about Tennessee scares me.
Exactly.
Nothing about Tennessee scares me. You know, look, we made some comments a few weeks, actually last week. I misspoke. I talked about Brew McCoy, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
And, I misspoke about that a little bit, but I'm going to say this, right? Just like he's out for the season, their offense, I think, is out for the season because they don't look as good to me under Joe Milton as they did with Hendon Hooker. I thought, I honestly think he's a better quarterback, like in the underwear Olympics. We talk about that a lot.
Oh, 100%.
Than Hendon Hooker, which is not easy to do, by the way. But Tennessee, to me, they've just regressed. I mean, they've got talent. I think long-term they're going to be okay. I just think this is that weird down year for them where they're reshuffling, they're reloading. And to me, it feels like they're 2 years away, right? Like they got to get that 5-star freshman quarterback they've got on the field, get him a year or two, and he might have like some Trevor Lawrence-like success, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Nico.
Yeah.
Say his last name. I'm gonna leave you.
Yeah.
That's what we call him over here. But Joe Milton, though, for a guy that's like a 6-year senior, basically, this guy's been in the college programs forever. He just isn't very good. I honestly, Christian, like he's like, yes, the underwear Olympics, combine. Yeah, he's gonna stand out crazy, right? I mean, he's got every attribute you want. He can throw it 90, yards. He can throw it 100 mile an hour. He can run a 4.4, all this crap. But boy, up here, man, when you watch him, I mean, we saw what happened last week against Missouri, right? I mean, they put up, 13 points? And Mizzou don't even have that great a defense. And I'm not knocking on Missouri, but he looked terrible, dude. For a guy that has that much experience, I'm with you today. I think Georgia rolls today, man. And like I said, I don't even think it's particularly close.
Yeah, closest game they'll probably play will be against Georgia Tech.
That's possible.
I
don't think so either. I think Georgia's obviously they're already locked into the SEC title game, but I think we know what's going to happen. They're playing Bama, so
yeah. They want us. By God, we know that. Minnesota, Ohio State, guaranteed L. To me, this kind of has that same vibe as Tennessee, Georgia, right?
Yeah,
in a watered down way, I guess.
Christian, would you say that? I mean, Minnesota's been a weird team this year. I don't think anybody thinks that they're good. The Big Ten West, we talk about it all the time, is a joke. I'm with you today. I don't think Minnesota poses any threat to Ohio State. You know where Ohio State's looking to, and that's next week.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying they're going to overlook Minnesota, but Minnesota is just not a very good football team this year. This isn't the Minnesotas of the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah. Same thing. You make the same argument with Michigan, Maryland. Now, we were talking about this before we got on here. We seem to both think that this game might be close for like 2-3 quarters.
I think so, man. It's more because Michigan's been all over the news the last month. And I mean, they did have a big win against Penn State last week, but Michigan showed some flaws in that game too, a little bit, in my opinion. And Maryland, yes, they beat a terrible Nebraska team, 13-10. It was ugly. I'm not going to get into that, but Maryland is a lot better at home. And I mean, Maryland did play Ohio State really close this year. I think this game is kind of close for a while. I know it sounds crazy. I believe they're like 19.5-point underdogs in this game. Christian, I want to hear your thoughts, though.
I can see it being close for like a half, maybe 3 quarters, but I think ultimately the final score is going to be probably a lot worse than what the actual game is. Look, I'm not even trying to talk shit about Michigan here. It has nothing to do with that, right? It's just, it would be very easy to get caught looking ahead, I think.
Yes.
To Ohio State. And Maryland is one of those teams that, I mean, I think they played Ohio State very close for like 3 quarters, and then they got skull drug in the 4th. Yeah. Michigan, Ohio State, to me, they're both very similar teams, I think, this year. Both, their best part of their team is going to probably be their defense. They've got really good run games. I will touch on that later on, but I like Ohio State a little better, obviously, because I think of their wide receiver room. But right. Yeah, Michigan, in my opinion, in this game, I think they'll get it done. But the big one, obviously, is next week. So the game of the year is going to be North Alabama, Florida State. I mean, this is, if you don't have this circled, this is must-see TV, Chris.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think you can get this on TV because it's on like some crazy-ass network that nobody has. So, Florida State rolls today. Florida State's got a date with Louisville, in my opinion. So.
Was it ESPN Ocho or something like that?
Oh, it's like, what do they call that? CW TV down south in Georgia.
Oh, God, dude. It's like whatever the knockoff like Marvel characters are on. You know what I mean? On like Tuesday night. Jesus. No, what is that? What is the Spanish ESPN thing?
I think you were right there. Was it Ocho? I don't remember. I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Washington, Oregon State. Now, that's going to be a good game. We've heard from the Huskies a lot here. Actually, it's really weird because these are two fan bases, I think, coming into this year, you wouldn't think, oh, my God, would be really, like, raucous. But when we put our preview video up, we've got Oregon State and Washington fans going at each other's throats, and I love it.
No, I do, too. Christian, this is I haven't made my bet yet. This one I am definitely betting today. And I'm not kidding you. And like I said, I follow a lot of shit on betting, but there are so many sharps and smart people with a ton of money putting money on Oregon State. I mean, everybody and their dog is taking Oregon State. They're favored by 1 today. And this would be Washington's kind of been begging to get beat the last couple of weeks. This would be, and Oregon State's looked great the last couple of weeks. I get it, but I'm taking Washington today. I'm kind of seeing where the odds shift here, but what's your thoughts on this one, man? I'm serious. I've never seen a game almost this heavily betted as far as on one-sided between two teams that one team's undefeated, one team's got 2 losses. Everybody's taking the team with 2 losses.
Now, you said that they're betting heavily on, was it Oregon State to win this one?
Yes. It is.
Yeah,
a lot of people are.
Washington's one of those teams I feel like, Chris, that just when you get down on them, they always figure out a way. Like last week, going into Utah, I thought, hey, that was going to be going into the Utah game. I should say that was a game where I thought, they're going to probably drop this one. And it was a close game, relatively speaking. But the thing I've learned with Washington, they're comfortable with winning these close games.
Yeah, that's true. They've been doing that. They did it against USC the week before that.
Did it with what was it, Arizona? I mean,
State or something. Yeah. No, you're right. I that's why I said I can't. I know they haven't looked as good the last 4 or 5 weeks, but I'm taking Washington today. I think it's a close game, don't you? I mean, you think it's Corvallis, a tough place to play, but I'm with you, man. I just can't believe how many people are on Oregon State today. It's like unreal. Like the betting public, everybody's on Oregon State.
Yeah, dude. Give me Washington, dude. Though skis.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of close games, Oregon, Arizona State. I think that has the self-imposed bowl ban. Arizona State, might I add. Thank God they did that. Well, I mean, what is Arizona State's record at this point, Chris? Aren't they have they hit 4 or 5 wins yet?
No, I still. Yeah. They are 3-7.
Okay, good. Yeah, good thing they imposed that bowl ban. Makes a lot of sense. But hey, they play teams very tough though over at Arizona State. I'm not trying to talk shit here. I
think Oregon rolls here, Christian. I think Oregon is so pissed off. I think they want to play Washington in that Pac-12 title game. I don't see any sort of upset alert here this week on this game personally.
I like it. I don't think it's going to be an upset. I think it'll be a close game. Maybe.
Okay. All right. 25-point spread on this game, by the way.
Oof, man, making me feel really dumb right now. Motzilla says if I put a mill on Illinois, will that mean an Iowa loss?
Buddy.
No, I think if you put a mill on Iowa, that would mean they would lose, right? That's how my betting luck always goes.
Motzilla, I will say this, dude. A lot of sharps on Illinois. I'm on Illinois in they're getting 3 points currently. I'm on Illinois today, too. A lot of people take an Illinois money line. A lot of people think Illinois is going to win this game. So you're not wrong there. If you have a mill, that's a lot of money. But I'm with you on this one, though, Christian. Yeah, if you put it on Iowa, then it's definitely an Iowa loss for sure.
Damn right, dude. Why don't you just put a mill on the I-80 boys, dude? Just give us a small business loan, all right? We're out here trying to grow the channel.
Here's the salesman.
No, but in all seriousness, hey, listen, I want Iowa to lose, Nebraska win. I want it to mean something next week.
Same.
If I'm going to have to get frosted tips, I want it to mean something.
There you go. I know I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I need Iowa to lose today. That's huge. They have to lose. We have to win. So, good thing about it, we'll find out.
The Chattanooga Mocs is 7-3. Chattanooga Mocs taking on Alabama. The Tide are going to roll in this one, 100%.
Yeah, I got nothing to add to that.
Now, Chris, I might be wrong here, which I am often. Isn't let me check something here. Okay, so that 8-way tie here for the Big 12, or second place in the Big 12, is Texas and Iowa State. I mean, Iowa State could send the college football world into absolute chaos today. Not saying they will, but they could.
Is a lot of talk about Iowa State. Has been notorious at home knocking off teams in the Big 12 that are ranked at the end of the year. I mean, I can name they've done it to Oklahoma a couple times in the past. I'm a little worried if I'm Texas. I am. I'm not going to bet this game. I'm staying away from it, but I'm with you. The Big 12 is just crazy. We saw Oklahoma State knock off Oklahoma, right? 2 weeks ago. Turns around, plays Central Florida, and gets beat by 42 last week. So I'm with you, Christian. This could be a little bit of an upset alert here for sure. Looking at
here's a couple games here, Chris, that are interesting to me. Florida, Missouri, Louisville, Miami. Let's start with the Louisville-Miami game. You've touched on it. I think you said, hey, Miami has a chance to upset Louisville in this game because it's,
Yeah,
they just got to get people to go there and give the tickets away. But
yeah, they're actually favored currently by a point. That's what there's a lot of betting people again, kind of like the Oregon State Washington game. Ton of bettors on Miami today.
I wouldn't bet my mortgage on Miami. I can tell you that right now.
I'm not either, but I have Louisville winning this game. I said it on Wednesday by a point. I think it's super, super close. But how can you put your money on Miami? The way they play really good against really good teams. They did it last week against Florida State. They played really well against. They blew out A&M. I'm not saying A&M's a great team earlier in the year, but then they've lost to Georgia Tech. They've lost to NC State. They beat Clemson, but how good is Clemson? Miami's probably one of the most up and down, never know what you're going to get team. Do you really trust them today against Louisville?
Absolutely not. I mean,
Okay.
mainly because, and I think Miami took my advice on something. Somebody finally took my advice, right? Let me look at something real quick here. Because they benched Tyler Van Dyke, like they were completely cool with just going with the Williams kid.
Yep. But he got hurt.
Right. I know he got hurt, but what I was looking at was I'm trying to figure something out here. I want to see what year is Tyler Van Dyke. Is he a junior? Yeah, he's a junior, dude.
He's a junior.
So he's going to transfer, right? Like he's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember 2 years ago he was in the Heisman talk, and then this year he started off hot and then just completely fell off the map. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, does anybody really want him? I mean,
somebody will take him. You know what I mean?
If he does
somebody's got to take him. I mean, I don't know off the dome who would. Well, I mean, shit. All right, let me throw a name out there: Nebraska, Iowa.
Oh God, yeah. Throw some of the Big Ten West teams in there, sure.
Jesus, yeah.
I mean, you can't be any worse than some of the quarterbacks we got here turning the ball over every week. I'll tell you that.
Well,
yeah, I knew it was coming.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, fuck. I'll quit talking about it. I'll get fired up here in a second.
Florida, Missouri, Chris. This is gonna be a good game, I think. Late night kick, SEC.
Yeah, Missouri's 12-point favorites right now. It's very easy for me probably to take Florida in the points here. Florida pisses me off because Graham Mertz is, I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's actually played pretty well. He wasn't the reason last week they got blown out by Louisville. He put up 35 points on a bad LSU defense, sure, but I think I said Louisville before. I apologize, but LSU, I think Florida's going to put up some points in this game. Their defense, Christian, is just it's gone, and all we heard was how great their defense was supposed to be this year. You remember that? The defense is just elite, top 5 defense. I think this game is kind of close. The fact that it's at Mizzou, though, I mean, I'm definitely leaning Missouri today.
You know, here's what I'll say about it too, Chris. I think, and I know what the argument's gonna be. Well, we're banged up. Well, fuck it, so is everybody else. Everybody else. Here's the worst kept secret in college football. You don't get to week 10, 11, 12 and be healthy. Right? It's just like in the NFL, right? It's oftentimes it's the best team that's the most healthy in the playoffs that ends up winning.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody, you said it right, though. Everybody has injuries. Every single team in the country at this point has major players hurt or banged up or not playing. I don't care.
Like you think the college football selection committee, you think like the playoff committee, you think they give two shits whether Michael Penix is sick and they end up losing a game? They don't. No. They don't care if Graham Mertz has stubbed his toe. You know, they don't care if Stetson Bennett is 35 years old. They don't. They just care about who wins and who loses, dude.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I hate that a lot of fans do that. Well, if Ohio State fans are notorious for that. Well, if Marvin Harrison wasn't on his period, we would have won. Oh my God. It's ridiculous. Everybody's banged up. I mean, Georgia's a perfect example of a team that could sit there and make an excuse like that. You don't hear their fan base talk about, right? Brock Bowers did come back, but you guys have been banged up probably more than most teams this year, but you keep coming out and playing better every week. That's what a sign of a good team does.
I sent him my ankle, by the way, Chris. I think that's why he was able to get back on the field so
Perfect.
quick.
Love it.
Yeah. Overnight, direct ship. Let's go.
Let's go.
Looking ahead here a little bit, Louisiana Monroe, Ole Miss. Let's give me Ole Miss all day, every day. Rutgers, Penn State. That to me could be an interesting game just because it's an 11 a.m. kickoff. I feel like.
Yeah, if this game was played in Rutgers, I think this game, I could see this being close for a couple quarters. The only problem I have is Penn State does have a really good defense. Iowa did last week too, and Rutgers didn't even score a point. So I don't know how Rutgers is going to score today. Penn State, poor Penn State, right? They lost the 2 games that everybody wants them to win this year in Ohio State, Michigan. It didn't happen. You're going to go 10-2 again and play in the same bowl they play in every year. How do they respond today? I mean, I think they need to go out and work on all their throwing the ball and some of that offensive stuff. I mean, they're in no right mind should Rutgers even play tight in this game. But if you're Penn State, I mean, are you already looking to next year? I mean, I hate to say that, but it's over. Like they didn't beat either of the 2 teams, Christian.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of looking to next year. And when you get to this point of the season, and I talk about this all the time, like, look, play the guys that you think are going to be there next year. Right, get them experience. Now, in this era of transfer portal, it may not mean a whole hell of a lot, but just play the guys. Get them some experience. Rest your guys that want to go to the league. You know they're going to go to the Underwear Olympics here in a couple, 6 months or whatever. Just do what's right by the team. Get ready for next year. Once you hit 2-3 losses, you're not going under this format. You're not going to the playoffs. Next year, that might be a little bit different. But I've always said that, right? Like, look, sometimes you got to be a little. Sometimes it pays to look down the road, right? I read a quote by Jeff Bezos, the Antichrist himself. One of the things he said was, people that are really successful always look. They're thinking 5, 6, 10 years ahead. You know what I mean? They're looking ahead, and they're able to make subtle changes based off that. And I think in college football, it's the same way as running a multi-billion-dollar company. Right? Or a multi-million-dollar company, however you want to look at it, in that you have to look ahead. You can't always, like last year, Alabama in that bowl game against K-State decided to play Bryce Young and Will Anderson, which I thought was fucking stupid. They would have been better off playing
Jalen
Milroe, playing some of their young guys, getting a better sense for what they were going to do. I think that would have helped them. If they would have done that, I really honestly believe the Texas game might have maybe come out a little differently. And that's tough for me to say because you know how much I've hated on Bama this year.
Yeah, no, I think at this point, I'm with you. I think it's good to rotate guys in and get them some experience at this point. Like Penn State, they're not playing for, I know this sounds crazy. Most teams would die to go 10-2 in a season. Don't get me wrong, but they're, as even their players got to be disappointed. Like all year we heard about it, right? They're one of those unique teams. It's like, you guys got to beat Michigan. You got to beat Ohio State. This is the year. And when that doesn't happen, and they looked really flat on offense last week again against, yes, Michigan's a good defense, but God, this is Penn State. Penn State has just as much talent out there as anybody else, and you don't get it done. I think you got to start playing some of these young guys and get them involved. And I hate to say it, look forward to next year because Penn State will be playing in a playoff if they continue to go 10-2 every year. I mean, since it's going to 12 teams, Penn State's definitely getting in. I think Penn State's probably the best 2-loss team in the country, but like you said, it don't fucking matter.
Yeah, but like you said, though, I mean, they're going to be, the number 10 team, so they're going to probably have to end up playing somebody like Ohio State or Michigan, right. And still get waxed first round of the playoff. Like, I like I said, man, I don't know. Some changes have got to happen. I mean, you see it. I call Penn State the Texas A&M of the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm. They're very similar. You could make a lot of comparisons to James Franklin and Jimbo Fisher in a way.
Damn right. He's Jerry Sandusky, Johnny Manziel. I mean, look, we've all got our controversies.
Holy shit.
2 games I think they're going to be underrated that have, dare I say, upset potential, and they shouldn't. BYU, Oklahoma, Georgia State, and LSU.
I'll talk about Oklahoma, BYU. I know what you're saying here with BYU, the bicycle school. They're, for some reason, they do play really well at home. Oklahoma is pretty much tipped over the wagon over there the past couple of weeks. I know they won last week, but I think the spread is 25. I could see that game being close. I still don't see Oklahoma losing. I just don't think BYU is very good at all this year. Yeah. I'll add my 2 cents real quick on the Georgia State. I know where you're going with that one. LSU does not have a defense. Georgia State has a lot of athletes. I'm not even saying that because you're from Georgia, but I've seen them play a couple times this year. I remember one night I texted you. I can't remember who they were playing on, like a Thursday night or something. I'm like, dude, like these guys got better athletes than Nebraska does. Like, I'm like, these guys can run over here, man. So I want to hear your thoughts on these 2 games, though, Christian, real quick.
Yeah, I think at that point they were undefeated too. But now I look at it, they're 6-4. I mean, Georgia State, they played some pretty damn good football this year. I mean, I'm not going to knock them. I think of these 2 games, I think BYU has a better chance of beating Oklahoma than Georgia State does of beating LSU. I still think, with that being said, I still think we're going to watch 2 really good football games, possibly.
No, I love it, man. That's okay. Anybody can play with LSU because their defense is so bad, right? If you have any sort of offense, you're going to be able to score. I still think LSU probably rolls today just because of the talent gap, but you never know. You never know in today's age of college football.
Absolutely. LSU's defense is like Chris when it gets icy out. They're on skates. I mean, and they're really easy to tip over too. You might have to invest in some life alert over there.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Illinois, Iowa. This is kind of for all the marbles, right?
Yeah, this is a must win for Iowa today. They win it, they clinch the Big Ten West. A lot of people, a lot of sharps on Illinois today, though. I think Illinois has been playing a lot better football. I will give them that after the Nebraska game a couple weeks ago. I don't know if Illinois wins this game. I don't know. If you could score, Christian, we say this gets Iowa. If they can get to 10 points, I think Illinois can win this game. It's crazy I'm saying that, but I truly believe that.
You said if they get to 10 points?
I think so. If Illinois can score 10 or 10 to 14 points today, I think they can win this football game.
I think the magic number is going to be 25. I think we're starting to, for whatever reason, see Iowa starting to migrate. Their offense is finally, and they're not figuring it out, putting up 40 points or anything like that, but figuring it out. They found a way to score 20 points.
Yeah, the more I think about this, Illinois' defense is not. I keep thinking it's the last year's defense. You know what I mean?
Geez,
they're not even fucking close this year. So yeah, first one to 20 today wins that game.
Yeah, real barn burner over there.
Yeah, Big Ten West at its finest.
Utah, Arizona. We touched on this game a little bit. I like Arizona. I like the Zona.
I like Utah in this one, man. Arizona's favored by 1.5, I think, currently. I'm going to bet Utah today. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Give me the Utes today. Arizona's been a fucking feel-good story of the year. I think they've beaten like 4 ranked teams in a row right now, which is pretty cool, but I think it stops today. Give me the Utes.
I'm feeling dangerous, Goose.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanted the Utah. Never mind. I thought you were talking about Arizona.
No. Give me the Utes.
No. I like it, dude. Go door to door. Never mind. I'm going to go a different direction with that. Wake Forest, Notre Dame.
Sam Hartman's
team. I was going to say, this is the Sam Hartman Bowl.
Yeah. What do you think? Any chance for Wake Forest to win this one?
Well, I want to Google and see what Wake Forest, I want to see what their record is. Wake Forest, to me, when we did our season preview, I think they were one of the last teams that we did before the season started. Yeah, they're 4-6. I honestly, I knew they were going to probably be one of the worst teams, I think. This is going to sound controversial. One of the worst teams in the Power 5. Not quite. I mean, they're not a good team. I'll put it that way. Notre Dame rolls today, 2:30. I don't think Wake Forest has a shot. Now that I've said that, Wake Forest will probably pull the upset, but big deal.
Yeah, no, I'm all over Notre Dame today. I think they roll.
Well, Chris, you like Duke Mayo, don't you?
Yeah.
You might need an extra helping or extra serving of it today when we watch North Carolina take on Clemson in the battle for the Carolinas here. This is going to get spicy, man. I mean, Clemson should lose this game, right?
I will tell you this much: I'm staying away from it betting wise because North Carolina, who I was ultra high on, has shit the bed 2 weeks in a row. They won last week, but we know who they've lost to out of the blue. Basically, North Carolina looked like they had a date with Florida State in the ACC title game. Mac Brown, I thought his defense was improved. I was wrong. Clemson has been playing better football. Clemson has more talent on their team than North Carolina, 100%. I think this game is super close. If I had to bet it, if I did, I'm going to roll Clemson. Mind you, I just looked at the spread. They're actually favored by a touchdown today. Clemson is, and they're not rated, so kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I just because it's at home, right? I mean, if this was at North Carolina, I mean UNC, like it would be whatever.
Yeah, it'd be a field goal, probably still leaning Clemson, I guess, because I'm surprised that this many people where the line's at on Clemson. I think I could see North Carolina winning this game. It wouldn't shock me. Maybe it shocked you, I guess. Not me though. I see this game being super down to the wire, last possession type of game, personally.
What do they have? Tyler from Spartanburg calling their offense up there?
They lit a fire under Dabo, man. He's been winning a couple games, dismantled Notre Dame a couple weeks ago. All of a sudden,
Texas A&M Aggies coach. I like it.
Yeah, boy, a lot of talk about that going out there too. Holy shit. True.
Yeah. Hey, the battle for Kansas.
Give me K-State.
What do they call this? What do they call this? The Civil War?
No, Civil War is Oregon State. I don't know what this one's called.
This would make more sense. Anyways,
I agree.
Kansas State. Who'd you say you want? You want Kansas?
No, I'm taking K-State. Kansas run defense sucks. K-State's looked like a pretty inspired team. Starting the year off a little bit shaky, but then playing decent football. I actually have K-State in a money line with Wisconsin today. So, we'll get into that game who Wisconsin plays here in a second. But I got K-State today though, man. I think they're 8-point favorites, something like that. Nothing against Kansas. They're a great story this year, but K-State's got just a better team defensively, especially. Kansas defense is really sus.
What conference they play in, Chris?
Oh, you know it, the Big 12.
All right, give me Kansas then.
All right, love it. Love it.
Same thing with Oklahoma State, Houston. I mean, it's at Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, weird shit happens in this conference, and I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't hate it. I love it. I'm not even going to.
No consistency in this conference at all. Zero.
No, exactly. That's why I think Oklahoma and Texas will come over to the SEC and be powerhouses. Why? Because it doesn't make sense.
That's true. Yeah. I have nothing to add to Oklahoma State, Houston. That to me, I'd probably lean Oklahoma State just after the ass whooping they took last week to Central Florida. But,
Yeah.
You never know. You just don't. You said it best. Big 12 is it's so unpredictable.
Tulane still hanging around, number 24 team in the country.
Best non-con team in the country right now currently. I know James Madison fans are going to be pissed, but they can't go to a bowl game. So, and I think Tulane's still rated ahead of them. So, Tulane.
Game of the century, Army, West Point, Coastal Carolina. Man, give me Coastal Carolina.
I am taking Army, even though they're 3-point dogs today. Give me Army in the 3 points, baby. Give me what's your guys' mascot called? What's Army? What are they?
Shit.
What are
fuck, I don't know.
they?
I would say maybe the Commander. They're not the Commanders.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what the hell are they, man?
That would make more sense than the Washington Commanders. Army. Oh, they're the Black Knights. They're the Black Knights.
There you go. That's what I was trying to say. I was like, give me the Black Knights. I couldn't think of the mascot. Yeah, give me Army today, though, man.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, it really, now that you think about it, it really doesn't make sense because the Army, like America never had knights. So, we're not that old as a country. So I'm so confused as to, like, if it was like over in England, that would make more sense. They were the knights or something like that. But
it's weird. It's weird.
I don't get it. Maybe I rebrand the team. Let's become the Army Generals. I don't know. Fucking
Something.
Michigan State, Indiana, battle for averageness over there. Well, this is probably going to be the battle for whoever's going to be the worst team, right, in the Big Ten East. Right?
Yes, these two teams up until last week, 2 weeks ago, didn't have a single win. They were the last two. So I would have to say, battling for not to be the worst team in the Big Ten this year.
There you go. Let's see. Looking ahead here, Eastern Carolina Navy. Ooh, listen. Not that it doesn't mean anything. That has a good shot right there. I think that has a good shot to be Eastern Carolina versus Navy.
Okay.
I think like if you just are a fan of college football, you're scrolling around 11 o'clock, and you
must watch.
Yeah, exactly. I think it has that potential to be just a sneak. Like if you like college football, I think it's got a good shot there, right? Navy, not very good. I don't know really much about Eastern Carolina. I feel like it would just be a good game to watch.
Okay.
It's calling to me a little bit, right? We'll have to keep an eye on it.
Well, it is a 2.5 point favorite. Navy at home today. So
Chris is like, you're fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, I know. I am, dude. I know I am. I'm calling you crazy. I want to talk about this game right underneath there, though. Purdue Northwestern.
Okay.
Real quickly, a huge line movement this morning on that game. Purdue was favored all week. Northwestern is now favored by a field goal, damn near, I think, or close. Literally shifted like 5 points here within the last 4 hours. Northwestern is still, I believe, hanging around. If Iowa were happen to lose today, Nebraska would happen to lose to Wisconsin. I think Northwestern's right in there yet, right, Christian? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. And Purdue's out of it, right? Because they're behind all they're behind the other 18 teams that are tied for the second place in the Big Ten West.
Yes.
Northwestern, they've clawed their way back into it. They've actually hired, was it Braun, their defensive coordinator, who they appointed to be the interim coach. They've actually officially hired him to be their coach for next year. So the game's at Northwestern. Man, I think Northwestern should beat Purdue today.
I do too. I did put some bet relatively heavy on Northwestern. I got it when they were getting a couple points. So I'm hoping that Northwestern wins today for my bankroll. But yes, I'm with you. That's kind of an interesting game, by the way. And I thought of this. If Illinois does beat Iowa, Illinois is still in the running too. If obviously they beat Iowa, so Iowa would have to lose next week to Nebraska. But there's kind of a crazy scenario going on in this Big Ten West. So we'll see what happens here. What you said, about 18 teams? You're not wrong. Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Northwestern are all 3-4 within conference. That is
Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech. I mean, just about everybody you could imagine's in there.
yeah. Throw all the MAC action teams in there and call it good. So,
hey, listen. I mean, you guys are in the Big Ten. You guys are getting some of the other programs like Oregon and Washington. Why not just absorb the MAC?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Playing on fucking Tuesday nights where we belong. Perfect.
You guys can go get the Sun Belt, and Billy Napier will come back, and he'll be coach of the year.
Yeah. Let's do it, man. Fucking A, dude. We'll be playing Tuesday, Wednesday nights. Can't wait. Must see TV.
Jesus. Now streaming on Voodoo TV. I don't fucking know.
Right.
Hey, I wanted to talk about this game. I know I was being a little bit serious about this Eastern Carolina Navy game, but Southern Miss, Mississippi State, battle for Mississippi. Mississippi State fired Zach Arnett, the guy that was tabbed to be the savior and everything that happened with Mike Leach. This could be a game, right?
I don't think so. I think Southern Miss really. I don't think Southern Miss is very good this year. Give me here, bank it. We'll put a bet on here. Give me Mississippi State by 2 touchdowns.
Well, I know oftentimes you think, okay, you fire a coach, you can rally it like Jeff Saturday last year with the Colts or Antonio Pierce this year with the Raiders. Just to use NFL references here, sometimes it can go the opposite way, though, right? I think the fact that they fired their coach, this is the first game after the fact. Let me do a little bit of recon here real quick on Southern Miss, just to make sure. 3-7. Okay, well, holy shit. I was gonna say Mississippi State's 4-6, but they also play in the SEC. So
I'll give you this though. Southern Miss has won 2 in a row. So
1-2 in a row. But is Frank Gore? Is he still Frank Gore Jr.?
Yeah, he's still playing for him. Yeah, he's actually had a decent season.
He's probably 35 years old already.
Yes. Like his dad. No shit. No, they did lose like 7 in a row, and then they've won their last 2. I see what you're saying here. I mean, Mississippi State is not a very good team, but I'm gonna say they rallied the troops a little bit at home today. I've seen Southern Miss play twice this year, just not nearly as impressive as they have been in past years. Sometimes Southern Miss every once in a while has like a really good team down there. So
let me guess, they were both weekday games.
Correct.
That's the only reason why you'd ever see Southern Miss play, right?
You don't. Yeah, when you're a degenerate gambler like me, you bet on action and some of these other schools in the Sun Belt. You will watch them during the week as much as as painful it is to watch.
Scrolling ahead here. Ooh, this is going to be a good game. Cincinnati, West Virginia.
Yeah, another Big 12 clash. This one, I think this one's a coin flip. I really do. I'm going to lean West Virginia here, though. I'm going to put my faith in Neil Brown.
I mean, these are both 2 teams that underperforming this year, right? I mean, underperforming from the standpoint of the fan base got excited at one point of the season and thought they might go on a run.
Yeah, West Virginia, I think for a while, Christian was second in the Big 12 at one point. Probably everybody at one point was probably second in the Big 12, right?
Well, but weren't they like 5-1, 5-1, 6-1, something like that at one point?
The only loss was to Penn State early in the season. They rattled off a bunch in a row, right?
Maybe it was like 4-1. I think. Yeah, they'd only lost to Penn State, and then Houston happened, and Houston, we got a problem.
Yeah, that was that crazy double Hail Mary game at the end there. God, that was
oh my God, great game! Just a fantastic game. You either had to watch that or the Broncos playing the Chiefs, and you got lucky.
I love it.
Where were you? Hashtag. Moving along here. Ooh, UCLA, USC. Now this right here to me, Chris. Absolutely astounding. The fact that Chip Kelly might be fired. Right.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say it's astounding to me because I've watched a lot of national media pundits say it, but I had this take even before they got onto it, and it was like, look, why would you fire Chip Kelly? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, he probably rubs people the wrong way, but I mean, he's coming off of 8-9 win seasons. He's got a chance to win another 7. He's going to probably win 7-8 games this year.
Yeah, I think they can win. I think they win the day. I do. I almost think they can win this game. Almost. I think this game's a coin flip. I really do. Against a Southern Cal team, let's be honest, a lot of people had to make the playoffs this year. This would be a big win for UCLA. And I heard, Christian, maybe correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I heard they might fire him after this game.
You know, I think Chip deserves better, so I hope they do. I hope they do. Not because I want Chip to lose his job, but if this is true, I want UCLA to learn a very hard lesson. And sometimes in life, it's one thing if you're Texas A&M and you fire Jimbo Fisher because you're going to go out and pay another coach $100+ million to come in and not win the SEC. But it's totally different if you're UCLA, a basketball powerhouse that happens to play football on Saturdays, that's going to the Big Ten. Like Chip Kelly is your best shot because who else are you going to go get?
I don't know, and that's a good point. I am shocked that they're going to fire him. Now, I've said this the other day too. I think I was on the phone with you when I said maybe something else went on within the program. Chip Kelly's had a history of doing some stupid shit, especially saying some stupid shit when he was in the NFL with the Eagles. I don't know that to be certain. I'm sure there's people out there that know a hell of a lot more about this story than I do. But as far as wins, losses go, I thought he's done a tremendous job there. Their defense is actually top 10 passing defense in the country, and I believe they're like top 20 overall. Like, what more do you want, especially in a loaded Pac-12 conference this year?
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, look, it's a tale of two different teams, right? I mean, UCLA, 6-4 or something like that right now? 6-4. Southern Cal, they only have what? Well, actually, shit, how many losses does Southern Cal have?
They've lost quite a few in a row now because they've had to play the gauntlet of teams. USC is 7-4. They've lost to Washington and Oregon, Utah, Notre Dame, and they only beat Cal in between there. So they've lost 4 out of their last 5.
I mean, I don't want to say both these coaches are coaching for their jobs. I don't think Lincoln Riley's on the hot seat yet. I think he fired his defensive coordinator, saving his job. But even if he didn't, I still think they would keep him there at USC.
I think I have a different take. I think 100% USC wants to keep him. I think he goes to the NFL. That's where
really?
Yes, I do. I think he's going to the Raiders or somebody like that.
Just told his defensive coordinator, what was it, Grinch?
Yeah, Alex Grinch.
Hey, man, get ready for Christmas because your Christmas gift, you're going to become a defensive coordinator in the NFL. And we're still not going to stop anybody. Let's go.
No. I do, though. I think Lincoln Riley, I think that's been his whole goal. That's just me. Just watching him coach at Oklahoma, then doing the same shit at USC. I don't think he really has much interest in other than running offenses. Defense definitely not a priority when you're Lincoln Riley. This isn't just 1 year of Lincoln Riley sucking on defense. This has been a long history. Ask the Oklahoma man that. And I think I lost Christian there. Perfect. What else do we got here? I think that's pretty much the whole slate of games here, honestly, today. Not a ton of marquee matchups today. There's a few interesting ones, but nothing crazy. Pac-12's got some good games today, though. We'll see what happens, though.
Well, just like USC's defense, I vanished there. Sorry about that.
But you're fine, man.
Like a thief in the night.
We're pretty much wrapped up there anyway. I think that was pretty much most of the games this weekend. Not a ton of like great games, but there's a few good ones. But
I wanted to keep going. There's a couple. There's a couple. Like 2 more games I think we could probably get to here. Yeah, Kentucky, South Carolina. Well, actually, a couple more games here. Kentucky, South Carolina. Oof, man. I like Kentucky.
I'm going to lean South Carolina here. I know that's crazy because they suck, but Kentucky's fallen off the wagon, bro. Ever since Georgia took their lunch money. I mean, they I don't know if they've won a game since then. Maybe one. That's a close game. That's going to be a good game today, that one. I do.
That one's that game. Another good 6:30 slate right there. So we're split down the middle with that. That's fine. Obviously, you're cheering for Wisconsin over there. You're the Wisconsin guy.
I put them in a money line today. I hope Nebraska wins. I am going to be glued to the TV at the night game. We don't play many night games, but Huskers, they're starting Chubba Purdy today, by the way. Hoping to revamp our offense and hopefully not turn the ball over 4 or 5 fucking times. I just don't. I don't know, man. Wisconsin's doing the same shit we're doing too. They've lost a couple in a row. They're not a very good football team. They're trying to get bowl eligible as long with us right now. I hope my Skurs win with everything I have, Christian, like I've told you all week. But I think Wisconsin beats us today.
You want a bold prediction, Chris?
Yeah, give me.
I'm gonna this is a lose for you guys, by the way.
Why's that?
If you lose, first of all,
well, yeah,
the Big Ten's out of the picture. Yeah, Big Ten would be out of the picture at that point. Right?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, we're off because we're 2 games back. So yeah.
But it's a lose from the standpoint of if Chubba Purdy comes out here, which this is going to sound crazy. I think with a week of preparation, I think he's decent enough to come in here and actually make everybody look like a fucking idiot and put up a halfway decent passing stat, right? And lead Nebraska to a win on the road at night at Wisconsin. Only for fans to, you're going to divide the fan base. This is really ultimately where I'm going with this, saying, why the hell was this kid not playing all along? If he does what I think he's going to do tonight, which is look like a halfway competent quarterback.
Okay.
The other side of that is you're going to have fans that are going to be if that happens, they're going to be so over the top ecstatic that it's going to be, this is the Super Bowl, right? As we like to say. And Chris, you brought up something that I think was very pertinent to this Nebraska Cornhusker team. Who's Nebraska's best win?
I would say Northwestern or Illinois. It's one of those 2 teams, and that's sad. But it's a good question.
I hear a lot of people saying I think it was 91% of the fans love what Rule has done his first year. I'm not a Nebraska fan. I'm a Georgia fan and a college football fan. 91% of the people are fucking wrong. If you want my honest opinion, because I think he's underwhelmed me.
I would say, as this year, I think I'm split on it. I don't know. I don't want to say he's done a great job. I don't want to say he's done a horrible job. I would say he's done an average job, and maybe a little less than average, because if Chubba Purdy does what you say he's going to do tonight, if he does go out and look like a competent quarterback, why in the fuck was he sitting 3rd string all year? If that does happen today. Yeah. Also, one thing I do give Rule credit for was bringing in Tony White defensively. Yep. Nebraska's defense is much more improved from last year. Now, I still don't think they're elite. There's going to be people going to tell me, no, Chris, they're awesome. They're not that great. They get propped up by the Big Ten West's piss poor offenses. But Nebraska's defense is definitely much more improved. So I do give Rule credit there for making the changes and the adjustments there. I think Matt Rule's a good spokesman. I think he's a good coach. I think he does care about his job. One other thing I love about him, the team plays hard. They do. They do. With not a ton of talent all over the field for us this year, guys play their asses off. But this quarterback situation is what's pissed me off. And I know you're going with this. There was a guy by the name of Casey Thompson that was on our roster to start the season. I don't want to hear people. I've heard people tell me, oh, Casey Thompson wasn't that good. Casey Thompson was 10 times better than any quarterback we have on the roster. Yes, he can't run the ball like Jeff Sims. I don't care. Didn't need him to. He could throw in the pocket. He could throw the ball. That's killed us this year. We are so one-dimensional offensively that I kind of blame Rule for bringing in Jeff Sims in a way. I like Jeff Sims as a person, I think. But, Christian, overall, if Chubba Purdy goes out today, lights up Wisconsin, looks competent, we get a win, you're right. Half the fucking fan base is going to be pissed. The other half is going to be thinking we won the Super Bowl. Did I lose you there, Christian? Damn it. What's up, Mike? Yeah, Satterfield, I'm not sold on him either. I don't want to, like I said, I'm not calling for anybody's head. You say now, I will say next year, the following years will be defined him. I agree with you. He's going to, like I keep telling everybody that in this state, I work in downtown Lincoln. So a lot of people, I've been telling them all year, like Matt Rule, what he does this offseason going into the Big Ten and way everything's changing next year, schedule, teams coming in. Yeah, it's going to be huge. I think he's going to have to really hit home this offseason with some skill position players, Mike, and I think he's going to have to find a quarterback. I know that sounds crazy, but like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on the quarterbacks that we have. It's just, Christian brought up a really good point. I think it was last week, or maybe it was on the Wednesday show, that Heinrich Harburg has got what's his QBR? Or
Jesus Christ, it's 39 point something, and it's 113th in the country. He doesn't even have 1,000 yards passing yet. I know he's got to be close to 1,000 yards rushing at this point of the season, but, and this is what I was going to say, right? 3 QB transfers, good. Here's what I'm going to say. This is what I was ultimately going to go with here, Chris. I think personally, I agree with you. I think Rule actually has done this is what I think. I think Rule has done a good job at keeping the team bought in. Because there's several points this season the team could have folded. Like after the Colorado game, after the Michigan game, there's several points this team could have folded. They're still fighting. It's not like USC or Colorado, which you can see how they're playing down the stretch. That those two teams have folded it in pretty much. They packed it in. They're just throwing guys out that, somewhat want to play football, right? And I think that's pretty obvious. I agree with Mike, though. I mean, next year is going to tell me whether or not Matt Rule is going to be successful. And by that, I mean, I want to see the defense. Look, the defense might take a little bit of a step back. That's okay. The offense needs to take major steps forward. If they can't do that, and we're looking at another clusterfuck of a year with one side of the ball, and we're looking at another 5-6 wins next year, I don't want to see a third year. I don't want to see a fourth year. In this conference,
there he is.
Yeah, it's not that difficult in this conference. I think you just got to figure it out and play somewhat competent football.
No, I agree with all your statement. Like I said, if I had to answer the question, like I said, has he done a tremendous job? No. Nebraska had an opportunity this year to win 8 or 9 games, believe it or not. Christian was right to start the season about Nebraska the more I thought about it, because the Big Ten West is that bad. And we had opportunities to win these games, especially down the stretch here with the loss to Maryland last week, the loss to Michigan State. We're definitely better teams, in my opinion. Problem is, though, at the end of the day, they beat us. And Nebraska now, if they don't get the win tonight, man, we're not going bowling. And that breaks my heart to say that. But they got to get this win today. And I think Chubba Purdy is a good option to go with. Give the kid a shot. Let's see what he can do. I hope he looks great. I hope half the fan base is pissed off after tomorrow or after tonight. But like I said, then it's ultimately, like Christian said, it's kind of a no-win situation for Rule, because why was this guy sitting here, a third-string quarterback, when this kid can kind of throw the football? So, again, at the end of the day, we're going to be happy regardless. I think most Nebraska fans would agree. If we can get a win tonight, man, and just get to the bowl game, get those 15 extra practices. So, Mike, my biggest problem with Iowa, I don't think you're an idiot at all. I would love to beat Iowa. I just think that Iowa's defense is so freaking good that I don't know how to put this. I don't know if we'll be able to move the ball on Iowa. I just don't, with the state our offense is in. And that's just my opinion. But I like the game against Wisconsin much more for us to win tonight than I do Iowa. Christian, are you there, sir? And he has got some problems with the internet today. But yeah, no, I'm with you. They did lose Dijon. Like I said, if we could score 10 points on them, maybe, but we're gonna have to see tonight. I don't know. This Chubba Purdy might come out and look really good tonight, and maybe that'll change my opinion about Iowa too. So I'm not 100% sure there, but I want to just get the win tonight, man. I wanted it 2 weeks ago. I thought against a piss poor Michigan State team, I would have been much happier, but man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like my internet connection over here, Chris, is unreliable. You can't count on it. If you bet on it, then by God.
You're taking an L?
Yeah, taking an L, dude. Well, listen, we are going to get that figured out. I don't give a shit what I have to do. If I have to go out and figure out a way to buy Cox, that sounded terrible as it left my mouth. Hindsight realized that.
It's all good, man. Thanks, by the way, for Mike joining in here late, man. Appreciate it. I'm with you though, Mike. We need to rally the troops today, man. Huskers got to try to pull this one off. They're 7-point underdogs currently, by the way. That line moved from 4 opening to 7 now. So a lot of people on Wisconsin. Not that really means anything, but I hope the Huskers tonight in a night game can get it done, man. I truly do. Yeah, we're gonna find out. I'm happy. I'm excited to see Chubba Purdy though tonight. I really am. Actually, give him a full week of practice and give him a start once and see what he can do.
It's September 29th, 2012, Chris.
Ooh, what's that? What date is
Last time Nebraska beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, 9 straight meetings. I know that we've lost. That's scares me a little bit.
It's time. It's time, right?
Right,
As they would say if we
did you bet on the Nebraska money line?
No.
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 Come on. God damn it. Put your money where your mouth is, sir.
I'm trying a new revolutionary betting style, Chris, where I just didn't bet at all this week.
Nothing wrong with that. That's always a win. Yeah,
Figured. Yeah.
Sweating every game out, sweating out Army and Coastal Carolina today. Like, who wants to sweat that game out? I do. I mean, Jesus, what an idiot.
Last time we won in Camp Randall, 1966. Okay.
Woo!
What?
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah,
1960. Well, but I mean, they didn't play each other every year either.
No, we've only been in the Big Ten since 2011. We never really ever played Wisconsin before then. I know when we were the Big 12 and even in the Big 8, I don't think we hardly ever played them. So
2022, actually 2023. The last year Georgia won a national championship.
Okay.
I remind myself that sometimes.
This guy, this fucking
shit.
Bulldogs. I wish I could talk so much shit about Georgia one time of my life. I might never get to. Fucking sucks.
Chris called me the other day. He said, "Man, you were fucking right. I had to put him on speaker and let my wife hear it because I don't get to hear it enough."
Yeah. I like I said, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I will.
Well, guys, 30 minutes to go here. We'll see everybody back. I'll let Chris sign us off here tomorrow.
You bet. Yeah. No, I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate the support. Like I said, I'm going to end this one quickly tonight, man, or this morning. Go Bulldogs today and go Huskers. We're out.